Do you ever feel like all of the great innovations have already been created and maybe, well, you've missed your opportunity to add your special innovation to the world? Or maybe you simply struggle at work to create new ideas in your role and would like a process that you can follow to create groundbreaking ideas and look great to your coworkers. In this video, I'll tell you a story of how one business opened up an entirely new market and break down how you can have the exact same results using the 4 steps out of the book, The Blue Ocean Strategy. Hi folks, I'm Chris Salome, and on this channel, I focus on personal and professional development. If you like that sort of stuff, subscribe, and if you don't, well, don't. First, what is a blue ocean strategy? It's when someone looks at the old way of doing things in a market and says, why are we continuing to operate our business in such an outdated way? They then innovate some kind of a breakthrough product or service that exponentially changes their business and creates a new segment of that entire market. One blue ocean move can create business opportunities for every competitor in that market space for years to come. In the book, the authors use the example of yellowtail wines. This is a simple example of an established market that was owned by high-end winemakers. The rules of the game was simple. You won awards for having subtle notes of oaks and berries in your wine, and you sold it to sophisticated and educated wine drinkers. What the makers of Yellowtail saw was that there was a vast market of people who were confused by all of the wine industry jargon and the notes and the berries that they couldn't taste. They simplified the offering by creating a red and a white wine that was easy to drink without knowing anything about grapes. They priced it comparable to the beer market and created fun branding around it so it was easy to see on the shelf. Within a short time, many people who never drank wine as an option had converted to Yellowtail, and Yellowtail wine became the top seller in America amongst wines. Because of this, many other vineyards followed suit, inspiring an entirely new category of wine and wine drinkers. Now, this might sound like luck, but it was not. Here are the 4 steps that were at work behind the scenes to create this new blue ocean of business. Number 1, reconstructing market boundaries. This is how the makers of Yellowtail were able to look at what was currently being offered in the wine market and question, is this all there is? Is it really that important that you earn an award or make a wine that is so sophisticated that the average person can't even understand it? What if we created a wine that was easier to understand and tasted good to a more broad palate? This one move created a vast ocean of opportunity and redefined what success meant as a winery. They started to look differently at the end consumer and less at what had defined the wine industry standard for so many years, like the awards and the grapes. The second thing they did differently was focus on the big picture and not the numbers. Yellowtail stopped looking at what the industry identified as success, again, like the awards and how long the vineyard was in business. And they said to themselves, is this really important? Why did we land on our current pricing model? Can that be changed or at least expanded on? Are the industry KPIs what we've been measuring for years? Like, are they still relevant? And again, what are we not seeing? The third thing they did was reach beyond the existing market. They took a look at non-customers. So here's an example of what a non-customer looks like in a different industry. Let's take the golf industry. Calloway Golf, much like the wine industry, was only open to a more sophisticated crowd because golf is difficult to learn. They then asked, why have people not taken up golf? Again, too difficult. Their answer, Big Bertha, a club with a larger head that allowed massively more people the ability to hit a golf ball accurately. This created new demand for non-customers. This led Callaway to own that market for nearly a decade. So when you're thinking about non-customers, there are 3 distinct categories that are identified in Blue Ocean strategy. Tier 1 is buyers who minimally purchase. So again, in golf, maybe this is somebody who golfs once a year on a family trip or a guy's trip or a girl's trip. Now, unless there is a leap in value, they will sit on that edge of the market forever and possibly never even purchase a set of clubs. The next tier is they refuse to enter that market for some reason. Again, in the case of golf, it's super difficult to learn and I'm never going to do it. And the third tier of people may fit the bill for some reason, but they've just never thought about entering that market as an option. So these are people who may be athletically inclined and they would probably be good at golf. But again, they grew up in another sport, and from what they know about golf, it's really hard to learn. So I'm just going to stick with playing the sport that I'm already comfortable with. So again, these are people that could be buyers, but just for some reason haven't entered the market yet. In all three of these situations, when there was a value innovation in the golf market that made it easier for people to play, it created a new demand in that industry. And that is exactly what happened. Calloway ended up owning that market for 10 years before another competitor started to do the same thing, which leads us finally to number 4, which is get the strategic sequence right. This is about making sure you have a clear business plan and that you can scale and duplicate this successfully. Now, there are 4 parts to this. Number 1 is buyer utility. Is there a reason for a mass amount of people to buy and use this product? Now, without utility, you obviously don't have a product. Number 2 is price. Now, price can be high or low as long as it's appropriate for the value that it adds and the utility that it'll be used for. Number 3 is cost. Does the cost of producing this thing leave you with the ability to profit, or your supply chain, again, to profit along the way? So can you make this thing at the right cost so you can profit? Number 4 is adoption hurdles. Whenever a new product is offered, there are hurdles to jump over. For instance, you're moving from working with distributors to direct shipping. In this case, you're going to have to resolve with that distributor partner before moving forward. This could cost legal fees. This could end a partner relationship. This could really wreak havoc on a business if you're not careful. Another adoption hurdle could be technology. Is this great technology, but can the average user or the end user use the thing? Is it user friendly? Is it easy to be delivered? You've got to make sure those 4 steps are worked out in a strategic way when you're bringing something to market. Those are the 4 steps to create a blue ocean in any business or market. To get started on your blue ocean idea, here are a few questions that you can ask to get moving in the right direction sooner than later. Number 1, what are key reasons why people aren't currently using your product, or maybe your product sales has slowed? Maybe there's a closely related set of buyers that you haven't considered yet. Number 2, if the market is saturated, is there a segment of customers that can benefit from this, but there needs to be some market innovation? What is that market innovation that you can offer? In one sentence, what would that value innovation be? The example of Yellowtail wines, it was the experience of a high-end wine simplified to a beer drinker's palate and making it fun to drink. Answering these simple questions can help to get you started. So listen, if you found this video helpful, let me know in comments below by saying helpful. And if you haven't seen my first video on Blue Ocean strategy, check this out. It's a video on how Cirque du Soleil reinvented the circus. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.